Today I'm going to show you how to build a Carpenter beach wrap for basically, if you have any lumber laying around, nothing. Did a couple projects, so got a handful of these short pieces I was just going to burn. Instead of spending 30-40 bucks on one from Amazon, and we'll spend about 10-15 minutes and make our own. First thing you're going to want to do is just make your determination. I'm going to go about 9 inches for each block. I'm going to make 2 of them. This step is totally just for aesthetics. I just want to put a bevel at the top. So I'm going to do is just get it kind of close, and then I'll use my square just to go around, make kind of a mark just to learn where to cut it at. I got her set at 45 degrees. We'll try it here. Pretty much all I'm doing is just making it easier for me to center the eyelet, and looks a little nicer that way, I suppose. But now we'll just make a cut at 9 inches, repeat one more time. With a circular saw, I always like working long edge out. You don't want to use a small 9-inch block and try to hold it, you can cut your fingers off. All right, now that I got my 4x4 chunks cut with my nice little decorative top here, this is pretty easy. So these things, if you ever dealt with Carpenter bees, they like about a 1/2 inch hole. So you're just gonna have a 1/2 inch drill bit that we're gonna need. To make it a little easier for you to locate things, the speed square is always good. You can pick these things up for a couple bucks, the plastic versions at Lowe's, whatever, if you don't have one already. And then just a simple mason jar. So first what we're going to do is I'm going to mark corner to corner with my speed square. So that way we know where the center of this piece of wood is. And then go across the other 2. And X marks the spot. So with our 1/2 inch drill bit, I'm going to sink this as far into the board as I can. You just want to try to make it as straight into the board as possible. If you start kind of going off to the side, it's gonna be hard to locate the hole. So straighter the better on this one. Another trick, in case you aren't aware, when you start getting about halfway in, 2-3 inches in the drill bit, it's always a good idea to just back it out and clean the flutes. It makes drilling deeper holes so much easier. Now that we got our center drilled in, I'm going to put a couple staggered different spots here for these things to come in. Actually, I think I'm going to do the second one staggered. I'm going to make all 4 of these the same, just to see if that helps kind of knock the confusion down. I want to get them in the board headed down. So I'll do this one, just all 4 of them, same height, same spot, just as 4 entrances. The other one I'm going to do 2 entrances and I'm going to stagger them. So we'll do a little bit of a test to see which design works the best. I'm going to try to hang them up in probably the same area of the house. I've got a couple different pavilions to put them in. So that should be a good A to B test on it. I'll just measure my drill bits, probably about 5.5 inches. So keep in mind, you're going to want to do something like a 45 degree, not just straight into the wood. For some reason, they like to bore in and crawl up, from what I found, while they're boring into a hole. So to be safe, I'm going to probably go somewhere around, for 5.5, I'll put it about 4 inches, kind of as a target for our drill bit to start. That should give me plenty of room to catch that channel on the inside of this thing. And 4x4s are never 4x4, obviously. They're 3.5 inches. So somewhere around, I pretty much marked that pretty close. I'll put this one closer to 1 7/8 inches, since it is 3 5/8. When you're drilling your hole, I always like to start it straight up and down whenever you're doing anything angled. And then you can rotate backwards and drill, like I say, roughly about a 45-ish, something like that. And with any luck, yep, I felt the drill bit just go, that means that you hit the channel. Here will be another nice little trick for you. I don't know if you'll be able to see it right off the bat, but if you get a little flashlight, you should be able to see light. So let's see if we can't sink this battleship. And we'll just do that 4 more times. And hopefully hit every one of them. Again, just starting kind of straight. That's a hit. Man, I'm on fire today. I should go play the lottery. Yes, 4 for 4. I might blow this out with a little air just to make sure. I got light. That one's full of dust and light. So that looks pretty much like a straightforward. Just take your time. Whenever you're drilling at an angle and stuff, just be careful where your hands are. If this thing slips and catches you, it's really not fun. Ask me how I know that. The next one we're going to do is just take the lid off of your mason jar. And we're going to want to just punch a hole straight through the center of it, or pretty close. This one doesn't really matter if you're dead centered or not. Now we have our nice little hole here, our entrance to our trap. We'll put it right over the hole here. I'm just going to use a couple drywall screws, since this is going to be encased. It's not a huge problem. If you want to use outdoor screws, go ahead. Probably a waste of time, but whenever I'm starting drywall screws like this, it's a little awkward the way that I cut it. But you can just give it a tap on the butt of the screw gun, and it pops it right through the tin. I'll do that one more time. Obviously, just make sure that your screws aren't where your sealing section is for your jar. And you have one quick, cheap Carpenter trap. I dug around. I don't have actual eyelets, so I got a couple hooks. So I'm just going to bend these closed. I don't want this thing getting into wind and falling off. And this little scrap of chain from, I don't know, a light that I hung up or something. They seem to like to be higher up, kind of away from everybody, which makes sense. And as far as mounting it to where, what I'm going to use is just a regular screw, another drywall screw. Screw it up to the header board, have it hanging off the hook. Should be pretty simple. I'll show you the finished product here in just a moment. So as I was hanging these, I had a couple other thoughts that I'm going to test if I get some decent interest in this video. I'm going to give it a week or two, like I said, with the one drilled with 2 holes that are staggered, and I got the other one on the other corner of the pavilion over here with the 4 holes. Now, I did say I was hanging it off a chain, so it got me thinking, I wonder if they want more of a solid foundation, if it matters at all. So I'm gonna give it a week or two, see how these do. I just did a spoon of sugar, some warm water, dissolved it in there. And they're the same height. Obviously they're on the other side from each other, which might make a problem. Maybe I'll switch it out, 1 week here, 1 week over there, and then solid mount them and see what happens. It's probably gonna take about a month, so bear with me on this thing. But if you want me to kind of be a little bit more scientific about this process, hit the like button on this thing, comment if you got any questions, just show a little interest, and I'll keep going. So I think it's gonna work out really well. I got, I don't know, just a bunch of scrap into it so far. If you do have to buy something like this, I would say it depends on what you can get for wood, a couple bucks. Hopefully it saves some money, and it's always better to build things yourself. Thanks for watching.